Is yards after the catch. It's Tuesday. It's the first week of the playoffs. Did you make it? Did you get in? What are you going to do now? You're going to watch yards after the catch so you can win week one. Thanks again, always, to Rob Machado for giving us some sick licks to listen to on the way in. Check him out at ReverbNation.com and download his stuff because it will melt your face. There it is. Not everybody, most of us play more than one league, to include myself. And so you can't hope to make the playoffs in all of them. But in some cases, you miss the playoffs by 2 points. How are you doing this week?
Actually, I kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit. I did make the playoffs in some leagues, but I went back. I was looking at all the losses that I had, and I lost 9 times over all my leagues over 10 points or less. And I lost 6 of those by 5 points or less, and 4 times under 2 points or less. And I even lost 1 time by 0.16 points, which really hurt. Thanks for those zeros and 0.3s for my wide receivers that were scoring.
Thanks, Bateman.
So what I'm saying is I'm like 5 catches, 50 yards, and maybe a touchdown away from being in the playoffs everywhere. That's what we said in the beginning is points over stats. The host said it, the one with the most, and I made it half of them, so fine. So how's the host doing?
Not as good as in previous years. This year's been crazy, and I check the Facebook feeds and do all that stuff, and a lot of people are saying the same thing. This year has just not been like regular years, and it probably has a lot to do with us coming off the COVID year and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm actually in less. I made the playoffs in less teams than I missed. I missed the playoffs in more teams than I actually made it in this year. And you're right. There were so many games where you miss, where you lose by a couple points. So like you said, under 10 points. I definitely had one that I lost by less than a point at one point. The league that you and I are both in that you just missed out on because Sony Michel couldn't pick up, 10 more yards.
Yes.
He screwed over a lot of people. But that one, I finished dead last, and I had the most points scored against me than anybody else in the league. So I feel crappy because I didn't make the playoffs, but then I had the most points scored against me more than any other team. And it seemed like that happens so often. And that's one thing you can always complain about, but the one thing that is always, or that is different this year is the injuries and, of course, COVID, which really hit a lot of rosters.
Yeah, I'm right there with you with just losing players and injuries, and COVID really did play a part. And I actually wanted to say something about this losing players before we get too far, because it happened in our league, and I was blown away by it. If you're in the playoffs and it's the last week, and if you win, you're in. If you lose, you're in. It doesn't matter. Don't drop one of your star players, your starting players, for their backup just because of COVID. Like, keep them in your lineup. That was a huge rookie move. I saw it. I was blown away by it. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. And you still ended up losing. And now your players out there just waiting to get snatched up. So don't do that. It's not worth it. You already made the playoffs. Your little sliding one spot to the left isn't going to matter. But I saw that, and I've seen a lot of drops this year that were kind of weird. I'm like, I was looking at the team, and I don't know how they're 8-5, whatever it is, 8-6. But it's like, are you kidding me? Like, and it hurts me because they're in the playoffs and I'm not. And I spent way more time than I should have, but apparently.
You know what, and I will, I'll say that because it seems like we spent so much time helping everybody else out. I will say that I think it did impact my own roster this week. And then, we do concentrate a lot about the ads and stuff. And so then we go out and we try to get these same ads. And, don't get me wrong, we're hitting over 80% this year, but sometimes people go out, and I'm guilty of it this year, and you pick up an ad because it's there. And it's a good ad, but you didn't really need to pick it up. And so you end up losing out because you picked up this great ad. And so as we enter the playoffs, this is why I bring it up. As we enter the playoffs, we do talk about the ads and stuff, but look, we don't rehearse this show. We don't talk about it. And you brought it up perfectly. If you made the playoffs, you obviously are doing something right. You have a good roster. So we're going to talk about ads. We're going to talk about people that could bring value to your team. We're probably talking to like the people who just squeaked in. Okay. But more than that, this week, I had brought up COVID, and COVID is going to run some rosters wild, and we're only at Tuesday. So at Tuesday, over 70 people in the league are coming down on COVID, and you're going to want to watch this all through the week. Check in with us, hit us up with questions, because look, if you had a Denver running back, they all got COVID. Gordon and Lindsey both got COVID. Hendo, he got COVID. Just got him back, and now he's out with COVID. OBJ's got COVID. Landry's got COVID. Cedric Wilson has COVID, who was doing kind of nice for you. Williams from Detroit. If you were, Swift's been banged up. If you were riding that and it was a good pickup to have Williams, well, he's not going to help you this week because he's got COVID. Gaskin out. If you were handcuffing Cook, you better hope Cook stays healthy because Madison's got COVID. Tony's got COVID. You just got him back, and he's got COVID. The Jets quarterback White, he's got COVID. Washington and Detroit's defense, like they all got COVID. Not that you were probably counting on them, but the thing of COVID is we're only at Tuesday and 70 players got it. So you're going to want to keep an eye on your rosters to see who else comes up with it. That's the big thing here.
Yeah, apparently OBJ went to Los Angeles to catch everything, including COVID. I mean, so many people, the whole Rams organization just shut down facilities for this week. It's this week. It's kind of funny. Like all those leagues that I didn't make playoffs, I'm laughing at everybody in there, hoping that it just falls apart for them. Because it's funny to me that I tried so hard and spent probably 50 to 75% more time than a lot of those players. Sometimes they just show up, Thursday morning, say, this guy, and then they just make it. And I study and punch the numbers. So for the leagues that I made it in, I hope I actually hit projections and don't get any more injuries because I'm over that. And for those ones that I missed, I hope it's a really rough 2 to 3 weeks for you because I've been dealing with it all season long. So I'm ready to jump on the train of hating for that moment.
But he's not bitter or anything, ladies and gentlemen. Look, the sting is there, and you're allowed to not be happy with it right now. And there are reasons why. So tell us your reasons why. Tell us if you made it. Tell us if you didn't. Let us know your story. Tell us who screwed you over this week. Thanks, Sony Michelle. Or who just got it done for you. Thank you, Dalvin Cook. Boy, there was a lot of ifs, ands, or I don't know what to do for Thursday. I definitely played him, and I definitely benefited as a result. Gordon came through for me as well, and now he's got COVID. So, you're in or you're out at this point. If you're in the consolation bracket, I urge you to play to the whistle, keep playing, even if you're not in the playoffs. But we are at playoffs. You made it. Let's go. With all the people coming COVID, you're going to want to keep an eye on that. If you need a quarterback, I don't know how you made the playoffs, but Taysom Hill looking real nice right now because he's getting all those rush yards. Kamara still was allowed to eat, did just fine with Taysom Hill. So if you're looking for a back, if you don't like your matchup, I think Hill could do something for you. And, of course, Tua is still available. Tua's been killing it lately. Tua's got the Jets this week. Super, super nice matchup, especially with him throwing, 40 times a game. So if you don't like your matchup and you want to take the risk, I think Tua is a place that you could look as well besides Hill.
Yeah, Tua is kind of lighting it up right now, quietly, taking his time. Mm-hmm. Maybe they will be keeping him around and not trying to trade for somebody else. Like you said, if you are hurting for a quarterback right now, I don't know how you're in, but you're definitely panic mode right now.
Yeah.
There's not really perfect matchups. There's not someone who's going to be throwing you 4 touchdowns for week 15 in the playoffs. It's going to be scary for you. And I'm sorry. Just because you're seeing the show and seeing all these COVID updates, a lot of the league is vaccinated, so they should be back if they're not showing signs and all that, and 2 tests up 24 hours apart. But doesn't mean someone else is going to catch it right before game day. So you need to be checking. If you're in the playoffs, check every single day,
Oh
morning,
man.
and just like run down that battery, because you need to know who's in, who's out, your backup plan, and your backup plan to your backup plan. Don't wake up Sunday and like, oh no, both my quarterbacks have COVID, I have to drop somebody. Like, you have to win now, so you have to do whatever it takes, and you need to know which one you're taking. Not at 11:30 in the morning, Sunday. Wait, don't do that. Just get ready now. You have to prep. Check that quarterback that's 3-4 down. Like, oh, he's got a soft matchup, maybe, because you don't know if he's getting hurt in front of him, COVID, whatever the case may be. Be prepared.
And on that note, contingencies for contingencies. If you're a Lost in Space fan, but you got the Thursday game. We already know Kansas City at the Chargers, going to be a fantastic game. A lot of fantasy opportunity there. I'm loving the points on Thursday nights. I think it's going to be a great game. But as for being prepared, don't forget we got 2 Saturday games this week. Don't sleep on that. Don't sleep on your roster and forget about those 2 Saturday games. Las Vegas at Cleveland, New England at Indianapolis. Aurora asks for quarterback. She has Allen, Garoppolo, Wilson, and Wentz. This is a 3 quarterback league. Yes, folks, a 3 quarterback league. It's a fun thing that she does. We know this from she's here every week. But she's got Allen, Garoppolo, Wilson, and Wentz. Allen, of course, play your studs. It's automatic. Allen's in. I don't care who he's going against. Wentz has New England. New England's defense has been playing pretty good, but he is at home. Garoppolo and Wilson. Wilson turned it on this week a little bit. And I actually, DFS, I played Lockett, and he definitely helped get me some money. To me, again, even though Wilson's not having a great season, it's coming down to the wire, and big players show up in big games. And with the Seahawks on the bubble to make the playoffs, even they need to perform. So I like having Wilson in, and so then it's kind of a coin toss for me between Garoppolo and Wentz, but I'm probably going to play Garoppolo myself just because Wentz is going against Belichick's defense. But that's how I see it. What do you think?
Yeah, looking at the numbers and who they're playing, I'm worried about Carson Wentz. Even though he's playing at home, he is playing against New England, and New England is kind of shutting some stuff down. And they want to make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to, keep that roll going. So Wilson,
they're trying to get that bye. Right now they've got that bye spot, and they're trying to keep it.
Yeah, Garoppolo I think is going to be a good start just because they're playing Atlanta. But with Josh Allen with a little bit of an injury, let's say day-to-day with a sprained left foot, he is going against Carolina. So you need to watch that. And sadly, Carson Wentz is already going to play by the time you find out if Josh Allen is going to start or not. So
New England is second best against quarter. They're giving up the second least amount of points. To quarterbacks. Carolina's giving up the third least to quarterbacks. Allen's wild card usually is the fact that he can run the ball, but with this ankle injury, I believe he's going to play, but he may not be as mobile as normal, and that's where you kind of lose some value. But again, you have to play 3 of them in this case, and so I'm still going to take Allen, Garoppolo, and Wilson personally in this one because, like you said, Wentz is going to play early, and if you play Wentz against the number 2 defense against quarterbacks, and you get screwed, you can't do anything about it, and it's Saturday, and you're just sad going into Sunday. So I'd rather have all my Sunday players going if it's not a Thursday player. That's just me.
What you want to do is move Josh Allen into your quarterback's flex spot.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not playing Sunday, move somebody else in there. You do want to play Allen because what did he put up? 45 points last week.
Oh,
So
ridiculous,
it,
ridiculous! But he
you
ran
want
so many yards; it was
yeah.
disgusting.
We don't sit our studs. We've learned that
We do
before.
not. Number one fantasy player in the league, obviously number one quarterback in the league. Last week was Josh Allen.
Yeah. So put him in your flex. If he's not playing, try to fit somebody else in there, and just go with that route. You just want all your studs there. Check Friday to see if he's practicing. That's just if he's already ruled out, then your decision's made.
Yeah, and then you'll have time by Friday. You'll know before Sunday, before Saturday, if Allen's going to play. So that will help you. At running back, Rashad Penny, of course, is easily the number one pickup if he's still out there. He's probably already gone, but he's actually available in like 60% of Yahoo leagues that I saw. So I don't know why that is, but he is. So if you can pick up Rashad Penny, he's back. He's the number one back. That'll give you. He's got the Rams for a week one playoff week, so pick him up. You might want to sit him on the bench, but he's got the Bears and the Lions if you can get past week one. So Rashad Penny's set up nicely to get you some points for your playoff run if you can get out of week one. With everybody having COVID in Denver, Duke Johnson moves up off the practice squad against Las Vegas, who's 30th against the run, and Duke Johnson. I remember Duke Johnson, definitely, being able to play. He's capable. I understand when you've got Gordon and Lindsey and stuff in front of you at his age, why they would be in front. But I think Duke Johnson is still a decent fill-in if you need a quarterback. Again, maybe you were riding Gaskin, maybe you were riding Gordon, and so I think you could pick up Duke Johnson and be okay with that.
That's actually an interesting pick. I didn't even think about Duke Johnson. Do know him a little bit. He can be a pass catcher. That dual threat running back. So that is a great filler if you need that. If that was like one of your last little flex spots and you're not really sure what to do with it, that is something you can look into. Obviously, he's not taking reps with the number one team for the last 6 months, but he can put those points on the board if that's what you need.
And that means that the opponents don't have as much film on him either right now. I mean, you've got film from the past, but not with Denver because he hasn't really run with Denver, and they're playing Cincinnati. And Cincinnati, give me just a second. Way down the list. Here we go. Cincinnati sitting at 22nd against the run, so kind of a nice setup there. For Duke Johnson to step into. The other guy who we found out earlier this year can definitely run the ball when he needs to is Ernest Johnson. With Chubb nursing some injuries and Hunt out at least right now. Again, keep an eye on that. But Hunt exiting the game and not practicing right now, the Ernest Johnson could again possibly get you some fill-in points if you need them. I would take Duke over to Ernest, but just because Duke is going to start and Ernest is going to be sharing, but another possible fill-in if you needed it.
Yeah, that's a good thought as well. Another running back, I know we've talked about him before, Ramondre Stevenson. Damian Harris is still kind of nursing that hamstring injury, and those tend to linger sometimes for a week. If he is available, there's nothing wrong with putting him in the lineup because if they even try to push Harris to come back and he hurts that hamstring even further, he's going to be out the rest of the season. It's just not going to work for them. They're going to rest him. They need to rest him because the odds are they're making playoffs. Even I don't care what happens.
They're definitely making playoffs. Yeah.
So you just want to they'll probably just rest him. There's no reason to rush him back when you have a capable running back behind him. And also with running backs, not only look at the running back situation on their matchups, with pass catching running backs, check the wide receivers for that team and see, is it a soft matchup for wide receivers as well? Because you might get some passes right out of the backfield. And that is something that I do weekly where I'm like, okay, I don't like the running aspect, but I have some passing running backs on my team, and they catch the ball sometimes. And if it's a soft matchup, I really look at that like, maybe I'll put that guy in my lineup. And also, don't change your lineup 5 minutes before game time. Don't do it.
Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. We say it every week, and everybody does it. And I didn't do it this week. I thought you were doing it, but you did not. And I'm glad that you didn't do it. Actually, you could have done it, and you probably would have won. But that's it. And you segued into the not just wide receivers, but New England wide receivers. Bourne, of course, is a big focus. Right now, you're seeing him on all the charts for worth a pickup. I don't think he's as high as people are putting him. But, I mean, the thing is that Indy's defense is good. Indy's defense has been playing really well. And I don't know if I want to put Bourne against Indy's defense this week. At the same time, Mac Jones, he's patient. He's methodical. Indy's defense against receivers is middle of the pack at 15. Bourne could be a sneaky little pickup for you if you needed a wide receiver, again, with Landry and OBJ, Cedric Wilson, all these guys out at wide receiver. I think there's better picks, but I want to hear what you think about Bourne.
Kendrick Bourne, listen, I know he gave me 0.3 points the last time they played, but they were also playing in hurricane conditions over there in Buffalo.
Yeah, we don't count that game.
And it hurt. I got the loss. I get it. I'm not even bitter about it. I just laughed it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that was cool. I got a stat that I can give the guys. But here's the thing. He is going to have to catch the ball. They're going to have to score. Indy scores. I mean, they're going to put points on the board. It's in a dome. I'm saying it's a great pickup. To me, it's a great pickup. However, if you have a first-round bye, you're not going to play him next week against Buffalo. So you might just have to ignore him. Maybe in Jacksonville, but do you really need that on your roster right now? Right now, what you need to do is check your players and look at your lineup. Set your lineup for who you have right now. And then click next week and figure out what your lineup is. Set that lineup to find out who's there. And then go to the next week and set that lineup. Find out who's there and who you want. Figure out who's actually going to be on your team, barring injury and COVID. Don't check that. Don't come at me or nothing. I'm saying check all those spots. Check all of them. And then look at your bench. Say, this guy's been riding that bench all 3 weeks, and you need a little backup or a little more, running back or, something to help you out. That's where this is where the homework comes in. So yeah, I agree with Kendrick Bourne. I actually had KJ Osborne went off last week. I still think he's a great pickup. I don't know what, anybody else is going to do on that team right now.
Nobody does.
Way to go, Cook, for fooling everybody. I'm really glad I sat Madison. I still lost. It didn't matter, but I sat Madison, and KJ Osborne is a great pickup, especially if Thielen's out again.
No, yeah, and that's what you have to watch. You got to watch Thielen to see if he's going to be back. If Thielen comes back, KJ Osborne has no value to you whatsoever. Just get rid of him. But if Thielen's out, Osborne could have some value for you. But with Landry out, Peoples-Jones moves up. Peoples-Jones did all right anyway this week. And then with Landry out, they're going against Las Vegas. Las Vegas is sixth, giving up the sixth least amount of points. They're doing well against wide receivers. And with Peoples-Jones in the number one spot, they're obviously going to key on him. So be careful with that. The natural transition from Peoples-Jones going up against a defense that's kind of shutting down wide receivers right now is to Austin Hooper. But Hooper has COVID, so that doesn't help you. Hooper did great. I picked him up, DFS as well. Helped me win some money, helped me win some games. But he's not going to help you this week because Hooper has COVID. Peoples-Jones could help you out, especially in later weeks. Even if Landry comes back, he's definitely the number 2 target there. Wide receiver 1 this week. Just don't know how well that's going to do. St. Brown gets a lot of play. Skeptical, but 12 targets 2 weeks in a row. He's 15 points last week. He's 24 points in PPR this week. After this week, so St. Brown, maybe get you something. Personally, I would rather go after someone like Renfro, and for people that have been watching the show all season, that we said earlier in the season, leave Renfro alone, and we stand by that. But as the season progresses, things change. There's progression of the season, and that's what fantasy football is paying attention to that progression. Renfro has definitely become the guy that Carr counts on to catch the ball. He's putting up points. Renfro could definitely get you points. My favorite pickup at wide receiver is, if he's available in your league, which he's available in a lot of leagues where he shouldn't be, especially after the bye week, is Devontae Parker from Miami. We've talked about Tua being a good pickup. Parker could definitely get you some points. I like Renfro. I like Parker this week, with Peoples-Jones definitely being the runner-up on that.
Yeah, when you started to talk about Hunter Renfro, we did talk about him. We said pick him up. The thing is when you thinking Derek Carr is going to throw to his tight end 19 times in week 1, and then he's going to run the show. Well, he got hurt, and Renfro is the guy. I don't know if you've been watching any of the games, but Renfro has been running crisp, clean routes, getting open, and getting.
Oh, he's fantastic. He's a fantastic receiver. It sucks that he's great.
I don't even know the stats right now, but I'm pretty sure he's like the number 1 wide receiver the last 3 weeks. Like, he has been the guy, and I absolutely love it. I did pick him up. It hurt when I had to play against him, of course, in another league, but that's just something you have to deal with. But Renfro is obviously gone. If he's in your lineup, put him in. I know some of you sat him on your bench and ate those bench points. I love those, but he is the guy, and especially if the tight end doesn't come back, Renfro's the guy for sure.
Yeah, no, love Renfro. You bring that up. We got time, so I'm going to check it out here. Renfro, let's see. Last week, nope, I don't want that. So you said you want to go last 3 weeks. Bear with us, folks, because we're going to check this out. I want to see. I always like to see, where he's at. Renfro, wide receiver 20, respectable. Wide receiver 20 last week. There's a lot of wide receivers in the NFL, so I'll take 20. Nope, give me this and go.
33 targets.
I know the guy's ridiculous right now. 19 in week 13, and bear with us, folks. You have time. We got that kind of time. And in week 12, Hunter Renfro, wide receiver 9. So, he's getting the targets. 9, 19, 20. I mean, that's, if you're in the top 20 for a wide receiver in the NFL, that's a respectable place to be, and someone you probably want on your team. So Hunter Renfro, if he's available, grab him. Again, I like Devontae Parker as well, because a lot of people forgot about him because they were on the bye. What a weird spot. I hope the NFL changes that, because it's a horrible spot fantasy-wise to have teams on the bye. That said, Miami's defense is worth picking up with the Jets. Devontae Parker is worth picking up against the Jets. Tua is worth picking up against the Jets. Gaskin is not worth picking up right now. You couldn't pick him up, but if you have Gaskin, don't play him because he's got COVID. So maybe look for a backup there against the Jets.
I actually have something for you.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and I will eat this next week proudly, but I want to say something. Just because somebody got 12 targets, caught 7 of them for 84 yards and a touchdown.
What was the longest?
Yeah. Well, guess what? He got like 21 points, something like that. Do not spend any of your fab money for Robbie Anderson. I know he went off.
Yes.
Don't jump into that and put him in your lineup. He's playing Buffalo at Buffalo. Remember, I got 0.3 points against Buffalo because the weather. But just don't. It's not worth it. Ignore it. Ignore it.
Because look, they're not sure even if I like Robbie Anderson when the quarterback, help me here.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton, thank you. I'm sorry. I was looking up stats and I like Robbie Anderson when Cam Newton plays, but they don't even know Cam Newton's going to play. They're rotating the other guy in. Cam Newton's not, he got 7 receptions this week for 84, but his longest was 23, so that puts him in the 60. He did get the touchdown, which put him at 14, but without that touchdown, he's not at 14 points. 1 point. They had the bye week, but they had 1.5, 3 points, 9.7 was his next highest point total outside of week 1. Look, Robbie Anderson's not going to help you, especially against Buffalo. They've got Tampa Bay coming up, and people are like, oh, Tampa, people are scoring against Tampa. That was before Tampa's getting ready to go into playoff mode. They've got some of their top defensive backs back. Say that 3 times fast. And I don't want to throw against Tampa right now anyway, let alone with Carolina receivers. That's not where I'm going. It's not how you got into the playoffs for sure.
No, yeah, just what's coming up for them. It's not good. I mean, okay, you got to score points against Tampa. They got to throw the ball. I get it.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's Tampa just has a switch right now. It's like turning everything on. We're running for the Super Bowl. Get out of our way, and they're going to shut some things down. I don't want any part of Tampa Bay. I don't want any part of Buffalo. Just move those people. Okay, even if you're
against them. You're saying against. Yeah, no, I don't either.
I don't want any part of it. So, I mean, just stay away from him. I mean, we already talked about Kendrick Bourne, and I wasn't lying about him giving me those 0.3 points. Stay away from Buffalo. Stay away from Tampa Bay.
Yeah, no, absolutely different. Absolutely true.
I do have a tight end for you.
Who looks different, Aurora? What are you talking about? Are you talking about Roop? There it is, or what are we talking about? Who looks different? Aurora, you're here every week, so I'll engage you a little bit. Hey, welcome to the show. Let us know how you made it in, or if you didn't make it in, who screwed you. But let us know. We're just having a good time this week because it's playoffs week 1. We've talked about Tua possibly being worth picking up if you're in quarterback trouble, and of course Taysom Hill as well. Rashad Penny's a fantastic running back pickup if you want to help your running back squad as he's back into the number 1 spot. Duke Johnson is the entire Denver backfield has COVID right now, as well as Ernest Johnson with Cleveland dealing with injuries. Peoples-Jones, Renfro, Devontae Parker for wide receivers. St. Brown may be worth a look. He's getting targets, which is potentially did get 15 and then 24 points. So maybe something, which brings us to tight end. Seals-Jones, of course, taking over the starting duties in Washington. Seems like the easy pickup, but it also seems like maybe Heineke has decided since Thomas isn't there that he doesn't need the tight end position at this time. And of course, Hooper was a fantastic tight end pickup if you grab him this week, but he's got COVID. So unless you're going to carry 2 tight ends on your roster, Hooper may not be the guy you want to grab. Is Seals-Jones still out there? You hope for a bounce back? You look like someone who kind of got screwed by Seals-Jones this week.
Here's the worst part. Okay, I knew I needed a tight end this week, and I was like, okay, Austin Hooper should go off just because of what was happening around the team. And then I was like, well, Ricky Seals-Jones, he's going to start. He's going to be there. I know he's got a little hip issue or whatever it was. And then I was thinking, well, maybe is there someone else, like Evan Ingram. And I was like, he has such great matches. He's not getting the catches. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go with what should work, what should happen. And Seals-Jones kind of screwed me a little bit.
Yeah, he screwed over a lot of people. The thing is I let people, so I knew I wasn't making the playoffs in that league. And so I let everybody kind of do their thing before I picked people up. And I picked up Hooper after you had picked up Seals-Jones, and a couple other people went off the board. I think Everett went off the board and stuff like that. And I grabbed Hooper because I knew he should have a decent week. I didn't think he was going to have as good a week as he did, but he had a great week. I got the win, and Hooper helped out. If you guys are just joining the show, tell us if you made the playoffs. Tell us how you did it, who helped you out, or who, if you didn't make the playoffs, who screwed you over. In the coming weeks, we're definitely going to be talking about like your top players for the season, and we're not talking about like the obvious guys like the Allens and stuff like that. We're talking about the guys that mid to late round draft picks who turned out to be something good. Maybe someone you grabbed off the waiver wire, like a Patterson. Patterson's a great example of somebody who helped get you in the playoffs. I saw an article today that Kupp and Patterson are the two most rostered players on playoff teams. I think it was for Yahoo. Kupp obviously got drafted, very early for wide receivers in most leagues, but Patterson was a big surprise. So we'll definitely be talking about who is your big surprise, and we'll probably have to take the other side of that and talk about who is your biggest letdown. But engage with us because we love to talk with you guys. We love our fans. We love the guys who just stop in, guys and gals. So shoot us some questions, shoot us some comments and whatnot, because we are here for you.
Yeah, we want to hear those questions. We want to hear those sad stories. This isn't a place of judgment. We'll talk a little trash, because we just ate dirt also. Just
oh yeah,
But some places we won. So
yeah.
We're here to get off that steam and get ready for the playoffs, or get off some steam and cry a little bit because all that work all season long and we fell short just a little bit. So it's okay.
Look, it doesn't matter if the leagues that I made the playoffs in, even if I win them, I'm still losing money this week. So maybe, or this year. So maybe that's you as well. Maybe you're losing some money. I'm definitely going to lose money this year on my fantasy entries, regardless if I win the ones that I got in on. So don't feel bad. There is no judgment. We're all in the same boat as far as fantasy because COVID and injuries were just something crazy this year.
For sure.
I like Miami's defense this week. I don't know, we normally don't get past tight ends, but there's a good chance Miami's defense got let go because of the bye weeks. If you need a filler, if you're streaming defenses. Miami's defense, especially like if you have Kansas City's defense. Kansas City's defense has been playing, very good ball. They've been getting points, but they have the Chargers. This should be a very offensive game this week. So maybe you need to stream a new, carry a second defense on your roster. Miami might be somewhere to go. As a lot of people let them go. They've got the Jets this week. It could be a nice spot to pick up some easy points.
Yeah, it's funny you say defenses. I've been watching Cincinnati. I had them a couple times earlier in the season, and then a couple of great matchups in a row. And I'm like, yes, this is the one I need. I put them on my team, and they just went quiet. It hurt a lot, but don't forget about defenses. They will help you win. I even picked up in the league that I didn't even make playoffs. New England was still out there, and I was like, well, they're the number one defense. I'll drop somebody that I'm not going to use the next couple of weeks and get that backup in there just in case something happens. So I think New England's a better start than Cincinnati, even though it's tougher matchups. I get it. It happens. But don't forget about tight end Hunter Henry. Like I said, they're going to be playing Indianapolis. Going to have to throw the ball. And even I saw Dawson Knox is also quietly the tight end 5. And the thing is he's either going to get you 15 plus.
Yeah, because he had that bad week, and that's he had one bad week. He was doing fantastic. Everybody wanted him. I had him, and he had to sit the bench because he had that one bad week. And then he's been doing, pretty well otherwise, honestly. I definitely played him this week. Again, he definitely helped me in some places. I don't think Dawson Knox is probably out there for you, but if he is, by all means, definitely grab him.
Yeah,
got Carolina this week.
I'm not saying start him. I'm just saying he's going to get you those 15 points or he's going to bust. And if you're hurting, like I am on my team, if somebody's not starting, tight end.
Oh, COVID?
Darren Waller. No, I don't. It hurts so bad because I picked him up everywhere I could, the second round or something like that. I was like, "This
Who's
is
that?" Oh, Waller. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And it's killed me this year. So, I had McCaffrey go down. I had Derrick Henry go down.
And that's the thing. many first-round picks have gone down this year? Let us know who was on your roster that went down. But yeah, Waller's one of them. Like you said, Henry, McCaffrey. Not the only guys out there that went in the first 2 rounds that either got injured or just flat didn't show up this year.
Yeah. Well, besides week 1, Waller. Actually, Kittle. Didn't he just go off this week with like 35?
Kittle destroyed this week. He
Yeah,
was
he was
ridiculous this week. Something like 143 yards and 2 touchdowns, I think it was. He had himself a nice week.
I want you to know that in our sleeper league, I had a choice between Darren Waller and George Kittle in the second round. I hated what I got. What I picked, 6th or something, so middle second round, and I didn't want to do it. I said, I think this is what's going to be the guy. And I tell you what, Kittle would have definitely helped me out this week. I probably still would have made playoffs, but it would have been fun.
Well, I mean, Kittle has been absent all season. Kittle's definitely one of those guys I think that makes this list because 10 points in week 3, but he didn't break double digits all season until week 9 because he was injured. But yeah, week 13 he went for 30 points, and last week he went for 21. So 2 great weeks for him. He's got Atlanta this week. He's got Tennessee after that, and Houston. Kittle is definitely someone that you hope you have on your roster going into the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, that's true. And even Rob says Henry still has the most points and has been out a couple of weeks. I don't know where he's at in yards and points, and it's just so funny that we're several weeks missing him, and he's still top 5 or top 10 wherever he's sitting.
No, yeah, I mean that's how far ahead of everybody that Henry was. Henry is sitting at he did drop after this week. He's sitting at 31 overall with 175. Now that's standard. So if you add the PPR in there aspect of it, Cooper Kupp is number 1 with Josh Allen number 2. That's crazy. Josh Allen's number 2 in a PPR. But Henry is sitting at he's quite a bit lower. 45 overall, but still 193 points, so almost 200 points on the season. Cooper Kupp sitting at 335 for PPR. But what's more amazing is that Josh Allen is right behind at 317 and Tom Brady at 314 with Jonathan Taylor coming in 4th, 308, and Herbert coming in at 306. So, you expect guys, quarterbacks are always going to be high. But in a PPR, you expect the wide receivers and even some running backs like Jonathan Taylor to be high. But you got Josh Allen and Tom Brady sitting there, solid 2 and 3. Fantastic seasons for those guys. Congrats for anybody that has them on your roster that you are probably in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, not probably. Kupp was like a 4th or 5th or 6th round pick, depending on the size of your league, whatever. Maybe even 3rd if somebody did some really deep digging. But I almost can guarantee one of the teams in playoffs in all of your leagues, Cooper Kupp is on one of those teams because he has.
Absolutely. Oh, there's no doubt
that are still decent, and he ended up being. That's what you want. You want your 4th or 5th pick to be the number 1 guy in the league. That's what's going to win you the games. And I can almost guarantee you, if anybody can show me their league where Cooper Kupp is on a team and they're not in the playoffs, show me because I want to see it.
Absolutely. That's a good thing. We should put that. I'll put that on Facebook tomorrow. In one of the leagues I was in, actually, there was a bunch of people vying for the last couple of playoff spots, which is pretty typical. And the 2 teams that made the last 2, 5th and 6th in that league, they actually lost this week and they still made the playoffs. So, maybe that happened to you. Let us know if that happened to you. But I mean, that's how the year has gone.
Yeah, it hurts. All my notes, all this work, all this. I mean, I can make it rain over here with all these notes all season long. Just I don't know what to do anymore. Like I did so much work and it was Cooper Kupp. That was the guy I missed, And
yeah.
and the guy that I took over him got injured several weeks ago, and then Odell took over, and now I don't know. That's fantasy football for anything can happen. My wife tells me every week I'm sitting there Sunday night, I need one more catch, and she's like, anything can happen, anything, it's okay. So it's a lot of fun, but it's fantasy football. You got to have fun with it. You got to laugh. You got to laugh when you lose, and laugh a little bit when you win. So
Absolutely. We do it every week, and there wasn't a lot going on this week. It was just the Army Navy game. Army was definitely supposed to win that game. Much better football team, much better record, and then Navy throws the upset. So I blame you. Because you picked Army to throw the upset. You did pick Army, so I'm going to blame you on that one. You said you were going to go back and get your record for the season. Did you actually do that?
I hate that you asked that question. And
Yeah.
I'll circle back to it. Here's the thing. Yes, I picked Army. Yes, Army should have won. And no, not any one play should change a game. Claypool, when you're showing off like this. No,
Yeah. 2 weeks ago.
Your teammates taking the ball from you. So your little showboating thing cost you. Like, listen, could they have gotten a touchdown? Maybe. Could they got 2 points? Maybe. Could they have won? Maybe. But the thing is your immaturity costs you. So things like that make me laugh. But here's the thing. I don't agree with one play can change the game. But I watched the last play of the Army-Navy game, and everybody was talking, oh, yeah, Navy win. But I watched a Navy guy rip off an Army guy's helmet, and that's not a face mask, like just rip and gone. I'm like, there's something wrong with it. And they were like
unbefitting of an officer.
They weren't throwing flags for anything that game on all sides. I get it. But right there, like, you could see it. I mean, everybody's looking at the screen like, so can we get the 1st and 15? Like, what's going on here? So, hey, congrats to Navy. They had a huge upset.
I guess
nobody grew up playing Navy, so still that.
I guess the big thing with this, and this is what I told some of my Navy friends, is things are back to normal. We're coming out of the COVID. We're trying to get things back to normal, and Navy beating Army. Maybe that's a sign that things are starting to come back to the way that they used to be. Army definitely should have won that game.
I did go back because I said I would circle back to it. I called 39 upsets this season. I checked all my paperwork that I just spread everywhere, and I got to clean up later, so this is going to be fun. I didn't do well. Okay. No. I checked. I did 39 upsets, and I'm calling upset. This is not.
But that's why they're upsets. I mean, it's okay not to do well on upsets because you're taking the chance. You're going against the odds. You're taking the underdog, and so that's
a big time underdog. These teams are supposed to win, and they ended up losing. But I was 14 for 25. Which
14
for 25.
14 good, 25 out of 39. That's respect. That's over 50%. Over 50% on upsets. So if you're making money on that, if you put the same thing down on every game, depending on the spread and all that. But I mean, if you're just going heads up, doubling your money.
I don't know about the spreads. If I have to do homework to go through with the spreads,
no. We're just going heads up. Win loss. We're going. You double your money or you lose it. You made a little bit of money this year. You came out
and check the spreads and see.
Well, you didn't call a spread, so you can't. It doesn't matter if you go ahead and check the spread because you didn't call one. But you made money this year. So 14 out of 20. 14. Out of 25, 14 out of 39. Well, no, I guess you didn't make money because you lost on 25. I thought it was 14 out of 25. Never mind. You did not do 50%, so you definitely lost money. I'm sorry. You were 11 games behind the curve, so you're a typical American and you lost money. That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, exactly. If you need help, call. So
No, not doing it next week. No,
I don't think you put any. Did you put any money down this year on any of those?
Did I what?
Put any money down on any of those this year?
I did. I said Michigan was going to lose to Ohio State and bet money on that and lost. So
Yeah, the Ohio State. It was bullshit.
yeah, the Michigan Wolverines.
Shut up. So
I love the Aussies. Like when I look at my upsets, what did I do? I think I did it twice. I said like the Wisconsin Badgers or something. I don't remember what it was, but I make it an upset because I just wanted you to like, no way is he doing this. And man, I could have had it twice.
Rob says just pick Cincy to lose. Maybe not.
Oh, we're getting to that. We're getting to Cincy to lose. Okay.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's get into it. What are we doing?
Okay, you know what? I went with 11 upsets for the bowl games. I just started picking randomly just for fun. I did.
Okay, so bowl games. Oh, you're talking about Cincy. Yeah, because you took Cincy to lose every week. That's right. Next week. Listen, and we'll run this up the flagpole and all that. Next week, we're going to talk about bowl game predictions. Is coming out, and we want to get to them before the bowl games get in. We're going to go through every single bowl game, and we're going to talk about the predictions because there's 32 of them this year. They went and threw another one in. Just so everybody can make it. So we're going to go through every bowl game and talk about who's going to win, who's going to lose, because we want to see if Roop, there it is, can improve on his regular season record. We will separate the two. Regular season 14 and 25. We will see what the bowl game record is, but I will also be contributing to the bowl game predictions as well. So the thing with
the homework.
Well, no, don't do a lot of homework, but and that's what I was going to say is with the bowl games, a lot of guys are opting out.
Which is why I don't pay attention to that.
Well, the thing is there are definitely some bowl games where it has a huge impact. I actually had Oklahoma to win, but a lot of the Oklahoma guys aren't playing in that game, and so I don't know if I can pick Oklahoma. I think if the core Oklahoma team had played in this bowl game, I think Oklahoma wins. But with the coach not being there and a lot of the players not opting out of this game, I don't know if I can take Oklahoma in this game. There's quite a few things like that. What's that?
You take Oregon, I'll take Oklahoma.
I can't take Oregon either because they beat my Buckeyes. So, I'm kind of in a quandary. I might have to pick nobody in this game. I'm going to pick a tie.
When I picked, I have 11 picked so far. That some of them I didn't do any homework in. I'm just like, oh, okay, I'll pick this one because they're not. Yeah. And then the other ones, I'm picking upsets in the bowl games because, they're higher ranked who's going to beat that lower ranked. I didn't pick the other ones that are really close or, number 5 is going to beat so-and-so or whatever, however it's going to be. So if we're doing all of them, send me the list and I'll circle all mine. You can circle all yours regardless. And we could put a little wager on it.
Yeah. We're going to have to do that. I was looking at a comment in the league that you missed by 2 points. The guy that you were playing actually had thought you won. And he actually just figured out that you lost.
Yeah.
That he won.
Winning streak, bud.
Yeah.
Take it to the house.
And oh man, 2 points. 2 points hurts, man. I saw that and it hurt.
It happened several times this year, and it happened a lot in the 12-team leagues. I don't know where my papers are now, but over here.
Would you have made it if you had won that game?
Actually, no, because I needed 4 teams to lose, and 2 of them.
I handled my end. I covered my end.
Because I gave you Austin Hooper, and I took the rookie sales.
Is that what it was? Yeah, thanks.
All I can think about was like he needs a tight end also, but I think I can make this. Can I? Okay.
Yes.
This
you can.
Here's my team, when it came down to the wire. Ben Roethlisberger finally showed up. I had
Yeah.
Najee Harris, Aaron Jones, Deebo Samuel, Nick Westbrook, I can't say that. Ricky Seals Jones, thank you for that 1.8 points. Sony Michel, which I needed 2 more points from. David Montgomery and Cincinnati defense. That was my lineup, and I lost. And of course, I had some players in COVID and injured, and the players that I picked up, Guyton, I was like, you know what? I need to put this guy in my lineup somehow, and I just couldn't pull the trigger. I didn't know which running back to sit, and it cost me because I was like, he's got to be the guy, with people being down. And you know what? That hurt so bad when he was like an 80, 60, 40, 50-yard touchdown, and I just looked at the TV. I'm like, yeah, I wish that was in my lineup right now. Like, as Commish Powers, it's so hard to not flip that and not.
No, I blame him. Look,
I meant to put him in. It's horrible. So I watch. I'm like the king of bench points and career day magnets on week to week basis. That's me, and I'm with you when you had the most points scored against you all season. That's been me the last 3 years. Just like, really, you guys are having career days while you play me. Can we go ahead and stop that next year? Like, I want.
Yeah, that would be nice. I would appreciate if that stopped as well.
Just hit projections. That's all I want, because I want to hit mine, you hit yours, and it works out. But it's so horrible.
It's so horrible. You know what? And we have to sit here and watch from the outside. In our own league, you set it up. I'm the co-commissioner in that league, and we just get to sit on the outside and watch other people make money. But it's gonna be okay, because next year we're gonna make money. Hey, look, guys, join us. Stay on the page. Subscribe to the channel. If you're watching us on Facebook, become a member of the Yards After the Catch Fantasy Football Show page. Join all the 100+ members over there, because next year when we come back, we've definitely got some new things coming down the pipe. We've had a great year with you. This year, we're going to keep it rolling. We're going all the way through the playoffs. So join us next week for sure. We want to hear how you guys do in week 1 of your playoffs. We want to know who comes through for you. We're definitely going to be talking about who came for you this season and who didn't as well. We're going to be talking about the biggest upsets and the guys I wish I didn't draft, and the guys that you picked up on waivers and got it done for you. Anything fantasy football, we talk about it here on Yards After the Catch. So join us next week, and for the next couple weeks, Tuesday nights at 8:30. If you need anything from us, we're on Facebook. We are on YouTube. You can hit us up by email at yardsafterthecatch@gmail.com. Mr. Root, there it is. You see it on the screen. You can find him on Twitter whenever you want using that address. Thank you for stopping in, Aurora. Thank you, Rob. Again, as always, thank you. Rob Machado is going to play us out when we go. But before we go, Root, there it is, has just something to add. I can tell he's got something to take us home.
I am going to listen. We're going into the playoffs. Doesn't matter what happened. I'm going with a positive attitude. I wish everybody luck. Shootouts. I mean, just points everywhere. Just horrible plays and upsets and flags flying. I want it to be just a phenomenal weekend. I want everything to just everybody win. That's what I want. Even if the ones I'm not even in anymore, just make the points, shootouts. Let's go. Let's party. Have fun. I really, really, really hope you guys all win, and I do too. So take us home, because I'm done with negative. We're going all positive right now, going into the playoffs. Let's go. Let's get those points.
Absolutely. Best of luck to all you guys. Rob says, don't change your lineups right before the game starts. He's absolutely right. It never works in your favor. Thanks for joining us on Yards After the Catch. Thanks for being here. And you guys be safe out there. We'll see you guys next week. Yards After the Catch. Have a good one, guys. There we go. Yeah.